Hello, my name is Ilona, and in this video I just want to take a look first. Where are the dark energies at? Where are they in this? What's going on? What is their energy right now, and what are they still capable of doing? But first of all, I just want to take a look at the energy of the dark energies. What is their energy right now from the black hats? What's going on? So let's see. We have the King of Swords, that's the card above. We have the High Priestess as the central card. We have the Queen of Swords, that's interesting. So we have the King and the Queen of Swords. We have the Two of Swords underneath, and we have the Empress. Oh, that's interesting for the future. And the Five of Wands. So right now, I think they are pretty confused. The dark energies that are still there, you know, all those puppets, and I believe a lot of energies of black hats have already been taken care of, but the energies that are still remaining are confused. I think that in a way they're trying to gain control of the situation. They're very intellectual. They have this sword energy. They are not in touch with their intuition, so to them it's completely puzzling what has happened. I think they are so arrogant that they never thought that they could fail. They never, not in a million years, that could happen. So now they're like confused. This is also a card of course, intuition, but because the Two of Swords is underneath, they are not in connection with their intuition. We have the King and the Queen of Swords, so they're very much in their heads, very intellectual, very planned, calculated, manipulative. The High Priestess can also be very manipulative, so they're trying to gain control of the situation. It's almost like a panic in a way, but they have no clue what to do. I do believe a lot of the higher ups have been taken care of, so it's almost like there's like this ship and no one is commanding it anymore. There's no captain, so it's kind of just moving along. So it's almost they're just how do you say that, grabbing straws, like they have no idea how to handle this situation. Interesting is that they near future is the Empress, so this principle of that femininity that they completely lack and miss is going to be restored, and it's going to cause, the energy is changing, it's going to cause a lot of infighting. I feel like they are really imploding. I think there is a lot of infighting going on. No one is really in control anymore, so they don't know what to do. And like I've said before, they're not very creative. They cannot create. They need something original and then they twist it around. So they have all these plans and they have to follow those plans because they are not capable of, how to say that, change the plans. That's why they have these, that's why you're seeing these really strange with climate coming up, and then they come up with maybe something new is going to come across the globe, what's been going on the past 2 years. It's almost like these nonsense things. These are their plans and it's completely messed up, and they don't know how to react to it. They don't know how to change because they're not capable of that. And there's no one to really guide them. Usually they had, of course, their higher energy, the higher powers, the higher ups taking care of those things and ordering them around. And right now there's no leader. I'm getting the sense they've completely lost everything. So they have no idea what they're doing. Then there's going to be a lot of infighting. So I think it's just going to implode on them. That's the feeling I'm getting with the dark energies. Now I'd like to take a look what they still have planned. Do they still have some plans? Like what is going to be next? Is it going to be Project Bluebeam? Is it going to be other things? Are they going to throw out something? I'm not even sure if they're capable, if they have that power anymore. So I'm just going to see what the cards have to say about that. What are they going to do now? What is their next move? Do they still have a move? Well, we have the King of Pentacles. That's interesting. So I'm just gonna take that one. Let's see. Above is the Four of Pentacles. We have again the Five of Wands. That's interesting. We have the Hermit in the past. Underneath the central card, we've got the Seven of Swords. And we have the King of Cups for the future and the Wheel of Fortune. To be very honest, they might try health-wise or something maybe with the food. So there could be that they really try to work these food shortages, or just maybe that the prices are going to go up and up. So people are going to have trouble getting food. I have a feeling that they're going to aim for that. This has to do with Pentacles, could be the money system, although they've completely lost, I believe, their grip on that. But they could try to implode things or things like that, because this is a Pentacle card. And Pentacles is really about the element Earth. So it could be finances, it could be health-wise, food, things like that. So they could still focus on that. But if I just see in these cards, this is the Four of Pentacles. We have the Five of Wands, and underneath it, the Seven of Swords. These are not good cards. So I don't think they have a lot that they can really do. Maybe some false flags on a very small scale, although that could still hurt a lot of people. They can still do damage. Do not underestimate them. But when I look at these cards, there is infighting. They are losing their grip. They have no idea how to handle themselves anymore. Like I've said, they're just holding on to things or to this power when they don't have any power anymore. No one is believing them anymore. Everything is falling apart. Some of them are trying to jump ship. So they might switch. So there could be more people that were black hats trying to switch to white hats, or at least help them out, like gray hats. I'm not sure how to call them, but they're switching. They might well, yeah, this is not going to go well. So they'll be throwing other people for the buses, in front of the buses. So we're going to have that. We're going to have an implosion. Things could come out. People could speak out. It's almost like we're watching like a sinking ship. Like I've said, some are jumping ship and some are clinging on and just holding on, going down with the ship. It's a lot of chaos, very chaotic energy. That's what I'm getting from them. And they don't really have a plan, but it could have to do with food, could have to do with maybe something health-wise, although I don't think they have that power anymore to really do something on a global scale. It's possible because they're so much in panic, they could do some false flags. That's the feeling I'm getting. But for the near future, things are not looking great for them. Things are changing completely. The Wheel of Fortune is about change. And to them, especially what I'm sensing here, it's not in a good way for them. It's also the King of Cups. That's about feeling. That's about emotions. And I have a feeling that they have no clue how to handle that. So it's moving away from them. I think they're completely losing grip. I think they are falling apart, the black energies. That's what I'm getting. So this King of Cups, it's almost like justice in emotional sense is coming for them. And I think a lot of people, especially the people that been awake for such a long time, really are finally going to see things happening to them. Things are going to come out. I think there's going to be a lot of emotional relief for a lot of people that this is really coming to the forefront. The media won't be able to stop this anymore. Truths will be coming out. So that's the feeling I'm getting. It's going to turn for them and not for them in a good way. The Wheel of Fortune is turning. Justice is coming. That's the feeling I'm getting. Now I'd like to take a look at the global energies. What is the global energy right now? Let's see. We have the Three of Cups. That's interesting. We have Justice as the central card. We have Judgment. That's interesting in the past. We have the Queen of Swords underneath Justice. And for the future, we have the Five of Swords and the Page of Wands. So justice is coming. That's the central card. That's happening all around the world. I do believe a lot of things have been happening in the background. I think they've moved things up. I think arrests are being made. People are being taken care of. I think we really are in the end game, so to speak. Of course, like I've said before, I don't know how long this is going to take, but we are really into it. So things can get crazy, but more and more truths are going to come out. People are waking up. Some can't see it at all. I do have this feeling people are noticing something's wrong, so there's more discernment. And more truths are coming out. The media cannot stop it, just like the laptop. They cannot deny it anymore. And of course, people will see that they've lied about this before. So if they've lied about that, it's possible they've lied about other things. So more and more things are going to come out. They won't be able to stop it. I have a feeling that there's going to be more connection, it's a bit strange. This is a celebrative card, like celebration. So I do believe that the energy is now finally changing. It's already been changing for a while. But especially after this weekend, there were a lot of solar flares. There were a lot of energy, heightened energy. So I do believe there's more connection with people. Things are changing. It wouldn't surprise me at all if things are going to change very quickly. For the near future, this looks very grim. But to me, it's a possibility that things like blackouts can happen. It may look grim because of the inflation, the price is going up, crazy things are going to happen. But ultimately, the white hats are in control and they're taking care of this as soon as possible. It's also possible that certain situations that look grim are actually there on purpose by the white hats because things needs to be done. Especially now, the information that's coming out in China. I have a feeling, especially with all the strict rules, I almost have a feeling like that's really coming out to wake up people. I'm not even sure if that is happening right now and if it's all truthfully. That sounds very strange, but that's the feeling I'm getting from, is this real or is this really put together, or is this from maybe a couple of months ago? What's going on? Because now suddenly a lot is coming out about people, jumping from buildings, horrible things you can see because they're all closed in, and it's now suddenly just flooding. Normally we wouldn't hear anything about this. We would have once in a while, and of course we knew in China things were awful. And now suddenly all this information is coming out, all these videos are coming out. It's almost with a purpose. So it will look grim, but in reality it's the white hats showing things. People need to know about those things, that those were the plans that the dark energies had in mind for us. So that's very important. I also like to mention, I've talked about this with someone before, I've mentioned this in another video a long time ago, that it looks like they are, of course, the dark energies are very intelligent. They use their intellect. They've closed themselves off from God, from their connection to source. So they need our energy. They need our energy to program. They need the energy to live. That's why they keep us in a low frequency. They use that energy, our energy, for creation, so they can create their program. They need that energy. That's why they program through movies, TVs, music, all kinds of things. But the strange thing is, their ultimate plan is for us to be turned into like slaves. They want to fully control us. They want to make us like half, not even human anymore, more machine, more hackable, more that they control us completely. A lot of us weren't supposed to live to begin with, and the people that they kept would be kept like I said, you don't owe anything and you'd be happy. Well, what they meant was you'd be completely hacked, so you don't think for yourself anymore. But the strange thing about that is, if you just look at it, it is like a death cult. The dark energies really aren't that smart to begin with, because by turning us, their ultimate plan, transhumanism, if I pronounce that correctly, it's really the fusion of human with machine, being hackable, so they can really take over your body, your mind, the way you think. But by doing that, they practically are turning us into them. They are disconnecting us from source. which means ultimately we'll be running out of energy, which they need to survive and to create. I've mentioned this before in a video. I was like, that's not like the smartest plan possible, is it? It's like sabotaging yourself. Ultimately, they will be in the same position. Why they needed us to begin with is that they won't have any energy anymore, because we won't have it, because we will be disconnected. Ultimately, we will lose that connection by completely hacking us, because we need that connection to God, we need that connection to Source to create energy. We don't have that connection anymore. If we're completely hacked, they're not going to get anything out of us. They'll be starving again, and that's the entire point. They are death cultists. They really are completely self-sabotaging, and it's going to lead to a dead end. And I understand that people like to think of them as very intelligent. To me, that's not very intelligent if you're actually working on your own self-destruction. And it's probably why things happened in our past where things were destroyed, and they've led to this before. They have this very dark energy that ultimately leads to self-destruction. It happened to Atlantis. It happened to other eras and areas on Earth, and probably in other star galaxies. Well, that's not going to happen to us. We are awakening. We are in this great awakening, and we are completely connecting to God again and truly start manifesting new energies, and they won't be able to hold us down anymore. They will not be able to use our energy. So ultimately they will have to move to another food source, so to speak, or maybe change in another way so they can reconnect again. I do believe that everything ultimately has a soul, so you can connect again to God, to Source. We are all created from the same source, from God. So I do believe that you can reconnect again, but that is up to them. They will have to go through a lot of processing to do that, because they've completely disconnected themselves. But that is up to them. So I do think that that's what's happening, is they have a choice like, well, there's not, because we are changing, because we are awakening, humanity is awakening and getting their strength back, getting their connection to God back, so to speak. We never really lost it, but we really are reconnecting again, becoming strong again. Then they'll need to find another source. It's completely falling apart, and I do sense in my other readings that there is a lot of panic going on in the dark energy. Well, I'd like to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!